So before we begin with the reassembly guide, I just wanted to say that for metal parts I will be lubricating with lithium grease, and for plastic parts and for the piston, etc., I will be using silicone grease. So yeah, let's get straight into it. Okay, so first we're going to start off with the trigger/hammer assembly. You're going to grab your actual hammer itself, the mock hammer, put it on here, and then you're going to grab this piece in this orientation with the pointy end facing down. Set it right there. Sorry, I'm making it look like it's a lot harder than it is on camera. So I set it right there so that there's still the opening right there. It's still visible. And then you're going to get this piece in this orientation. Wait, no, wrong. In this orientation, I believe. Wait, no. Upside down, sorry. In this orientation with this nub thing. Photo focus. Facing down, like so. And then this should be pointing to the right, the pointy part. So, like so, line it up with that hole, and then put it in. Now you can see, looking at the back, that the nub from the piece we just installed should be poking through this hole on the back. Now I forgot to mention in the disassembly guide, make sure you don't mess around with this piece after you take it off, because there's a chance that the springs will fly out and they're very hard to get back in. Since, well, I did mess with it, and personal experience, they are hard to get back in. And they're also easy to lose. So yeah. Next, you put it on top like so. And it should fit right into place. If it doesn't fit, then don't force it, you probably did something wrong. Next, slide the trigger in from the back with this screw thing facing up. If I can just get it on the tracks. You know what, I'll do this off camera. Next, slide the whole housing for the hammer assembly into the frame so that the screw holes line up. And so do the pinholes. Insert and tighten this screw. And then insert this pin. Note I have grease on it. With the upper and lower notches facing up and down, obviously, from the left side of the gun into this hole. And then you have to match the notches. There we go. So you might have to twist it around a little bit. And that is not what she said. After you put the pin in, insert and tighten this screw onto the pin. Also, I forgot to say, make sure the trigger is all the way forward when you insert your hammer mechanism, because I accidentally had the trigger back when I did that, and the trigger got locked back. So make sure it is all the way forward. Next, insert the mag release from this side, like so, and twist the screw 90 degrees to the right to lock it. Next, insert the ducktail safety from the rear. Make sure that that piece from the hammer, the long thin piece, is in between the two grooves of the grip safety. Now insert the ambidextrous safety, which is the smaller one, like so. Push it all the way down and then twist it until it won't go any further. Now insert the other brass ring from this side. Note I have grease on it. And by the way, I am greasing all the other parts, I just don't show it on camera. Next, insert this small piece into this hole right here. Tiny hole. This is the slide catch press thing that puts pressure on the slide catch. So yeah, slide it in, and it should poke out the other end. And then slide the other larger piece with the spring on it, or you can slide the spring in separately. In before it. In after it. And that's the thing that puts pressure on the safety. Next, insert the safety into its hole. And then, make sure it is in the same orientation as the piece on the other side, corresponding piece. And then push really hard. If you push really hard and it still doesn't go in, don't push any harder. But it does take quite a bit of force to get this past this piece. In fact, you should probably use a tiny screwdriver and push this piece in while you push this, and then let go while you're pushing this in. That may help. But once again, be careful. Don't break it. I will be doing this off camera as it is virtually impossible to do on camera. Now for the hardest part, slide this spring piece in with this notch on the bottom, like this groove, not groove, the thing, pokey bit right here, facing downwards into the grip. And it's really, really hard to do on camera, in fact. But yeah, I will show you what it looks like when it's in. So as I was saying, with the pokey notch bit facing down, it should align with this groove, and it should go into that groove. Sorry this is so hard to show, but once you have it in, it should look like this. If you can see, that silver piece right there, the long bar, that's perpendicular to the spring piece, is actually the trigger, part of the trigger bar. And then this long bar that's parallel, the black bar, is part of the hammer. Make sure that this hammer bar is above, not below, or caught in between the springs. So yeah, and then you can shut the grip safety, like so. Make sure the hammer piece, come on, it's not focusing. Make sure the hammer piece is in between, and then just shut it. I will do this off camera since the camera's being stupid. So from here, if you hold the grip safety down, because it will want to come out, trigger should have a springy feel to it, like so. So now to assemble the hammer spring assembly. If you want, this is an optional mod. You can get tiny washers and put a few of them in, or one of these nuts and bolts, a very tiny one, as spacers that will compress the spring more. So if you choose to do this, just slide them in there. Make sure they are flat like so. Slide the spring in on top. Put that piece on top of the spring, and then slide it into this assembly. If you remember from the disassembly guide, this is very, very hard to do. And be very careful because the spring is extraordinarily stiff and could send it rocketing off. In case you were wondering, the assembly slides in this way, with this piece facing this notch. After it is in, it should look like this. Make sure you press it down as far as it'll go. Next, make sure, once again, this is in the middle, not on the sides, like that. And then slide this in from the bottom. This is very, very hard to do since you're compressing that spring, so be very careful. And then once you have this all the way to the bottom, put this pin in with the side that's pointed, so like that side, facing, I believe, facing this side. So yeah, you want the indented side of the pin facing this side. After that's done, it should look like this. And make sure the grip safety goes under it. There's a notch underneath. There's a notch going here that's connected to the grip safety. Not a notch, like a small thin piece. Make sure that goes under the piece we just inserted. Not over, or else the grip safety won't come down. You can see the pin here. Just flush, don't push it in too far. At this point, to make sure you did everything right, make sure the trigger will pull. Make sure the grip safety works. So if your grip's not on the safety, make sure it doesn't pull. Push it down, it should pull. Perfect. Cock the hammer back, which will be harder to do now because of your spacers if you chose to do that. Release it. Do that a few times. I won't do that too much on camera since it's really hard to do with one hand. Put the safety on. Make sure you can't pull a trigger. Yep. Make sure you can't put the safety on without being cocked. Perfect. So it works perfectly. Now we're gonna move on. Actually, no, we can't move on yet. Still need to insert grip panels. I also forgot we should probably test the mag release. So pull the hammer back. Magazine in. I've noticed that with this gun, the magazine does shake quite a bit, but it will not come out. Then put the mag release, and the mags will come out. So yeah, let's move on to the grip panels. Very simple, just slide them onto the respective places, and then screw in the 2 Allen keys. Now onto the slide, which should be very simple. First get the cylinder assembly, or piston assembly, whatever you call it. And then slide them together, like so. Slide that tiny spring in. By the way, I almost forgot to say, make sure this piece is inside your nozzle. Put this small metal rod into your spring. You can now slide the piston assembly into the slide. And then push this tiny metal rod thing back so that it goes back here and latches onto that, like so. I don't even know if you can see the tiny metal piece sticking out. To test if it worked or not, pull this back and it should return automatically. Perfect. Next, screw in that Allen screw. Now slide the barrel and hop-up assembly into the slide from the from the front, like so. Now slide the spring in over it. And pull it back against here. This piece. Insert it like so, sideways, and then twist it until it's vertical. Insert the recoil spring nub. Recoil, whatever it's called. Recoil, I think it is called that, I'm not sure though. Whoops. And then, whoops. No. Stand up. Okay. And then, oh, come on. Okay, there we go. Put the recoil spring on here. The recoil spring guide. And then slide it into here. You know what? No, I'm gonna do this off camera. Okay, so what I was gonna say is slide it into there, and then latch it onto the hop-up unit. After greasing the running rails, you can slide the top and the bottom receivers together. Pull it back until the smaller notch lines up with this black square. Insert the slide catch, and then you're good. It really is amazing what re-greasing can do. Now that I've re-greased it, not only is the hammer stronger because of the washers, but the trigger pull is amazingly light. So yeah, that's it. I hope this helped, and thanks for watching.